So you think that you would like to start playing World of Warcraft, but my goodness, is there ever so much that people can bombard you with? What are you planning on doing? What's your role? What's this? What's your class? What are you planning on doing endgame? Let's scale it back. Why should you be playing World of Warcraft? Why do you want to be playing World of Warcraft? And what can you enjoy from the game being your first time through? Let's take a look at that together as I give you guys a quick introduction to World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is a fantasy-based MMORPG set in the world of Azeroth, and it has been around for quite a few years. The world of Azeroth has now expanded beyond itself into Outland and Draenor, and soon to be Shadowlands. And being a fantasy-based game, there are fantasy-based classes, such as the Warrior, Mage, Warlock, Druid, Paladin. There are 12 classes in total that you can choose to play entering World of Warcraft, as well as many fantasy-based races. There are the Horde races, as well as the Alliance races. And so, starting out, you're going to get the core races to start off with on either side. So you choose your faction, Alliance or Horde, then you choose a race, and you move forward from there. Going forward, I'm going to have presumed that you know the basics of an MMORPG style of gameplay. For it's pretty common knowledge at this point. Many of them have been around. This is just more of a little bit more in-depth introduction into World of Warcraft, having that prior knowledge beforehand. So let's get started. Don't worry about the meta. Don't worry about what's the best damage dealer. Don't worry about class, spec, role, anything. Just play what you gravitate towards. I am personally in love with the Druid and the Warlock. Those are two classes that I fell in love with early. And the Warlock I jumped into pretty quickly, but the Druid I always kind of stayed away from because when I did start playing, they weren't the best or this or that. And when I finally started playing one, I realized how much I loved it. And it's because the fantasy of it fit what I like. And there's no one in the world now that can tell me not to play a Druid because it's not meta or anything else. So when you get to the end game, when you get to there, we'll worry about that later. Every class can be good. It's just how well you play it. So if you feel like you like a certain class when you're starting, play it. Don't worry about the meta or how much damage it can do end game or what the 1%ers are doing. Play a class that you think you're going to love and you're going to enjoy. My next thing that I try and tell everyone is enjoy the leveling process. Right now, currently in the game, max level is 120, but that's about to get squished down to 50 for a max of 60 when Shadowlands comes out. So perhaps by the time you're watching this, Shadowlands has come out and it's levels 1 through 60. But one of the things that I love about the game is actually the leveling process. Yes, there is a ton of content to do endgame that is loads of fun, but there is also loads of content that you can do while you're leveling. Questing can be super fun, especially because of how the quests are made in World of Warcraft. They are massively lore driven, and if you take the extra 5-10 seconds and read quest texts for main quest lines, you might feel that, you're kind of living out a long play cinematic. And some of the lore in this game is absolutely amazing, and I feel like it gets brushed over on this rush to get to the end game, get to the end level, so I can start doing all of this stuff. But in the process, you're missing out on a lot of the fun that's going around. And it doesn't matter if it takes you 4 days or 4 months to get to max level. What matters is how much you enjoyed playing that game. So my honest opinion, just enjoy the leveling process. Enjoy the lore that is given in World of Warcraft, because there is an absolute ton of it. There are YouTubers that have made their careers of doing World of Warcraft lore. Like, that's all they cover. And they make these epic 3-hour videos. Nobel is one of them. I'll link in the comment below. I love his videos. And they are long and educational and fun, but they're entertaining. And you can play through that entertainment. That's what you pay for with a World of Warcraft subscription. And you can have just so much fun leveling and exploring the lore and the beautiful environments all around. And yeah, just take some time and enjoy the leveling, because it doesn't matter how fast you get there, and it's about the journey, not the destination. When you get to the destination, it's going to open up a whole new journey for you, and you might be that player that says, I just want to raid as fast as possible, I just want to get to endgame PvP, and that's perfectly fine as well. But if you're a new player, stop and take the time and enjoy the leveling process, because it is about to get a whole lot more enjoyable and a lot less arduous. I guess that's the right terminology for it, because I have played through the new leveling zone, Exile's Reach, in the PTR. So as of recording this, the new World of Warcraft expansion Shadowlands is not out yet, but there is quite a bit to explore on the PTR. And so with that, I have played through the new Exile's Reach. I played a class I never played before to see if I enjoyed it. Because for me, mages, as much as I love wizards and Dungeons and Dragons, weird thing is I don't really care for mages playing mages in World of Warcraft. But that's me, because I like playing around the fantasy of it. I like Death Knights, I like Warlocks, I like Druids, because that's what I'm attracted to. Those are just the classes I love, and it has nothing to do with the warrior not being fun, because I mained a warrior in Cataclysm and I loved it. But for me, I have different tastes now than I did then, and the warrior just doesn't fit that fantasy as it once did. It is still a great class. Paladins are still an amazing class. Our guild leader is an amazing protection paladin, and but would I want to play one? Not for me. And it has nothing to do with meta, damage, healing, what the class can accomplish in the hands of the few percent that are up high. It does not appeal to me. So when you take that first tip in mind and you take it back, how your endgame is going to reflect can directly reflect your class that you pick. And whether it's, you might be a fantasy driven player who wants those cool abilities, and it's not about the damage. And I do feel the developers do a fairly good job at making every class good. Now, how good that class can be is really, it's in your hands. I have seen non-meta classes, so as of this recording, Shaman is not in the highest DPS tier or anything like that. They're still amazing raid healers, but they're not regarded as super high DPS. But I have seen super high DPS Shamans, and that's because they play their class incredibly well. They know it to the end. And to the nth degree, they know all of their timings and everything, but that's something that they've played with, they've practiced, and they've gone on to that extreme portion that's at the end. So that's not something you have to worry about, because every class is made to be good. Is it just going to be good in your hands? And it's going to be good in your hands if you love playing it. If you don't like playing a Warlock, and it's the top tier DPS, it's the top meta, it's all of the 1%ers are playing them because they are the best of the best of the best, but you don't like playing them, you're probably not going to be the best at it, because your heart isn't there, right? This is still a game. It's still something you pay for, but it's a massive game that allows you to live out in a fantasy world through imagination. It's kind of like a programmed Dungeons and Dragons. That's how big and massive it is. And as well, there are roleplay servers that, if you want to think about. So when you're creating your character and leveling them, you can actually create backstories for these characters, and there are websites devoted to these realms in which you can roleplay. So when you're going through the town, you can join these orders and these guilds, and you have to roleplay with them. Well, you don't have to, but it's super highly suggested, henceforth why they're roleplay realms. So maybe that's something you like enjoying as well. And there is tons to enjoy in World of Warcraft. I know a person who literally just does old school raids to get all of the transmogs. And a transmog is an old piece of gear that you can make your current gear look like any gear you want. So I know a person that literally just loves farming that. I know a person who doesn't even care for endgame PvP, but likes leveling their characters through PvP. So what they'll do is they will start a new character, and the moment they can PvP, that's all they'll do until they hit max level or near 2, and then start a new character and start all over again, because they love the learning process of creating a new character and playing PvP at lower levels. You can do that if you want. You can really do anything you want. So don't let anybody pigeonhole you into what you have to do. Oh, you have to raid, or you have to mythic plus dungeons, or you have to do this. Just play what you want, and really enjoy it. Enjoy the leveling process. Enjoy the lore. So I'll do a quick review on Exile's Reach. So I started an undead mage, and so before, with starting zones, they were racial based. So if you're playing an undead, you started near the ruins of Undercity, Lord of the Run, and you played through the starting quest line for undead races, no matter what class you were. Now they have a new island called Exile's Reach, in which everyone kind of starts and goes, and they give you your Horde or Alliance reasons for being there. But the questing is tailored to your class. So as playing a mage, one of the quests that I got was how to use polymorph and how to use it effectively. Well, that is a mage-only ability, and I found that quest to be actually super entertaining. I had a lot of fun. You come out of Exile's Reach at level 10 after completing a mini dungeon. And one of the worries that I had going into that mini dungeon was, all right, how long is the queue going to be for a tank? Didn't need it. You just straight up go, and then you end up in Orgrimmar at level 10, or Orgrimmar or Stormwind at level 10, and then that way you just get to start the questing process, or do whatever you feel. Level 10, I do believe you can start PvP, and level 15 you can start doing full-on dungeons. But I found Exile's Reach to be a lot of fun. The story was really, really good. It was, honestly, I have nothing negative to say about Exile's Reach. The new starting zone, Blizzard absolutely nailed it. So even at that, if you're thinking about starting a new character, go through there and play through it. Now, if this is your first character, you're going to end up doing the Battle of Azeroth quest chain from 10 to 50, and then you can start on Shadowlands after you have accomplished the Battle for Azeroth quest chain. On your future alts, you can go through. You can choose what expansion you want. Do you want to do the Burning Crusade? Do you want to do Cataclysm or Mists of Pandaria, Wrath of the Lich King? And going through that entire quest line will bring you from 10 till 50, or you can opt to start in the racial starting zones if you want as well. So there's a lot of different options. So they're really making it a little bit different for starting new characters, which can be a lot of fun. And lastly, what I want to cover is a lot of people always ask, what's the best race for this class? Well, honestly, the racials make such a minimal difference in your damage or your full-on class capabilities that it doesn't really matter. There are a few little niche subjects that if you wish to be in that top 1% of players, that, let's say you want to make a rogue, the orc bonuses for rogues are absolutely incredible. Humans have great racials for PvP. But in all honesty, it's only going to matter if you want to be in that top 1%, the best of the best of the best type of deal. And to do that takes an incredible amount of time and dedication. And right now, we're thinking about starting playing World of Warcraft. So don't worry about it. Play whatever class and race that you want, that makes sense to you, that you like. You like just because you like, man, my Warlock is a Blood Elf, and that's just because I like the lore behind the Blood Elves, and I felt it was thematic with the Warlock, and I just went with it. Really, that was it. When perhaps an Affliction Warlock, the Troll, might be a slightly better racial for 10% haste every 3 minutes. That's literally 10% haste every 3 minutes. It will make some slight differences, but not enough to change everything. In the top 1%, like, the top percents of the percents, yeah, my DPS might go up by 500, and I want that 500, so that's where I'm thinking there. But I prefer, I really like my Blood Elf Warlock, and I'm going to keep playing in Fire because she's a lot of fun to play. I stream World of Warcraft on Twitch every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and on Sundays we cover Rime of the Frost Maiden. We're going into session 2 as of this recording, Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to catch some live Dungeons & Dragons, come on by Sunday. If you like catching any type of World of Warcraft content, come by Wednesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, where I stream regularly. If you have any ideas for videos that you'd like to see, maybe you'd like basic class coverage, maybe you want endgame class coverage, whatever you want, comment that down below. I'd love to hear from you guys for ideas from videos from what you guys like to see. This is actually a guild request video from somebody from one of my guildies that asked, hey, do you guys know of any videos for anybody that's thinking about getting into World of Warcraft that might be able to help them out and make their judgment call whether they want to play or not, because they're unsure. If you would like to support this channel directly, please do so on Patreon. The link is below. It goes a very, very long way, and I am putting out lots of Dungeons & Dragons goodies for everyone to enjoy there. Aside from that, I hope you have yourselves a great day, and we'll see you next week.